Good afternoon, Sooner fans. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. It is game day, top 11 matchup with the Oklahoma Sooners facing the North Carolina Tar Heels Blue Blood program in Charlotte. Basically a road test, the first true road test, I think you could say, for the Sooner squad. And not just a road test, you're going up a team that has veteran leadership in R.J. Davis and Baycott. These are guys that have played in tournaments and very, very much a true test for the Sooner team, and a team that in North Carolina, guys, averages 85 points a game, and OU's defense has been elite, top 15 scoring defense. Something's got to give tonight, guys.
Yeah, you look at North Carolina averages, what'd you say, 85? OU's around the same thing. I mean, OU averages right about that same thing. So this could be, I don't want to say track meet, but it could be. There's athletes all over the court. So it's going to be an extremely fun game to watch, I think. And I've always been a fan of these. You say a true road test, but I've always been a fan of these games that are not at the college campuses during the weeks of holidays because you're not going to get probably a great college student section in your crowd anyway in the home games. So I think it's great that they're doing neutral, and it's considered neutral, even though it's in Charlotte. But you know what I mean? It's not on the campus. I love this Jumpman Invitational. And we've talked about OU schedule and who they've beaten. And guys, Providence, after that win they had last night over Marquette, looks maybe better than people thought. That's a huge win. But you think OU's had some tough games? Go look at North Carolina's schedule, okay? North Carolina's played, their three losses are Kentucky, UConn, and Villanova, okay? Those are their three losses. And then they've beaten Arkansas, Tennessee, and I know there's more. I'm missing some. But they've had a brutal schedule. And they're a team that 2 years removed from a natty.
They didn't win it. They
no,
went.
but they were in the game. They were
Yeah.
in the game. So, and they got a few guys that were on that team. So it's going to be a really, really good test for this Oklahoma team.
Yeah, Jay, you mentioned the neutral site. This Jumpman Classic is really cool for OU, especially being in the Big 12 with how brutal that conference schedule is. You can boost your non-conference schedule every single year with just this game because you're playing a Jordan school, which there's not many of them. There's only a few. There's North Carolina, Florida, Georgetown, Michigan, and maybe one more. I don't know if UCLA has moved into that Jumpman thing yet for basketball. But so you're getting a top tier opponent, and it's at a neutral site, which is a big bonus for OU, even though it's a holiday week. If you're playing at North Carolina, I don't think it matters what time of the year it is in Chapel Hill. They're going to pack it, and that place gets very, very loud. And you're also just looking at the comparisons of this team compared to OU. RJ Davis leads them in scoring with 21 a game. OU's leading scorer, yeah, they average about 85 points a game as well. It's only 14.9 in Otega Owe. So RJ Davis, a big time player, played a lot of college basketball. You also have Armando Bencott, who was a broken floorboard away from winning a national championship 2 years ago against Kansas. If he didn't go down in that game, North Carolina completes the magical run as an 8 seed to win a national championship. So you still have those key pieces on a very talented North Carolina team that may have 3 losses, but you look at who their losses are to. They played a lot of good opponents already, and now Sooners are going to take them on tonight.
Yeah, and get into the nuts and bolts of this game. You guys talked about the neutral site. It's an NCAA tournament feel because of that, the neutral site. But let's get in the nuts and bolts of the game. Baycock's going to averages over 13 rebounds a game. OU's got to block him out. OU's got to be a lead on the glass. It's not going to be one guy. Sam Godwin's got to do the job. Hewley's got to do the job. The guard's got to drop down and rebound very well. R.J. Davis, it's going to be a collaborative effort tonight. As far as defending him, Oweh's going to be on him sometimes, probably a lot actually with his length. That leaves McCollum off of him, but I expect Oweh to play a lot on R.J. Davis. They also have a guy in Harrison Smith, I think is his name. Is it Harrison Smith? Harrison Ingram. He's a guy that's going to get points, rebounds, and assists. He's kind of their jack of all trades, I guess you could say. But To me, there's two things that have to happen for OU to win this game, and it's pretty common sense. OU's got to win the rebounding battle. And second of all, OU has to control the ball and not have turnovers. Those are the two things. You don't turn it over, you defend and rebound. You're going to be in this game and probably win this game tonight.
Well, and you have to, if you look at OU, one of the reasons they're so good this year is guys that are scoring between 7 and 14 points. They got a bunch of them. Okay. They're not a one or two hit wonder. They got guys all over the floor that are scoring a good amount of points. And kind of like I heard Porter Moser on a podcast this week saying that basically we have 8 starters and they're going to get their minutes whether or not they're starting or not, and they've accepted that role. But some of the guys off the bench are averaging as much as some of the starters. So you got a wide range of guys that are scoring points, which is huge. But I do think this game, in my opinion, you mentioned rebounding, but I think this game comes down to I'm going to say 2 guys, and it's the 2 guards for Oklahoma, Uzan and McCollum. I think they're going to be so important in this game, and they're going to have to play well. They're going to have to play very well and not have turnovers, like you said. North Carolina also has a couple of really, really hot shooters from the outside that you really got to defend well. But one thing OU's done all year is defend the 3-point line extremely well. So I don't think that would be an issue. Defense travels, and I think it'll travel tonight in Charlotte.
Yeah, Jerm mentioned Harrison Ingram. He's averaging he's shooting 43% from 3 right now. That's big time numbers. 14 points a game and 6 boards. And I think it was Jerm that mentioned kind of, or maybe Jay, of the tournament feel of this game. It really is. You look at RJ Davis, he's a guy that's going to get you a bucket. You look at OU, JV McCollum, he's a guy that's going to get you a bucket. It's December 20th today, and we're already getting almost a tournament game is what it feels like when you're preparing for this game. I mean, 8 o'clock on ESPN, top 11 teams going at it. Like, this is a big time thing for both programs. North Carolina really needs this win to kind of balance themselves off of some of the tough early season non-con losses they've had. OU needs this win to stay undefeated in non-conference play. That would probably seal a undefeated non-conference schedule, moving to the top 5 after that Providence win over Marquette. And then you go into the Big 12 play with a little more leeway for the gauntlet of the Big 12 with the additions of Houston and BYU. But there's just so many storylines in this game. Sam Godwin's been one of the best rebounders in the entire country. Now he's going against Armando Bacot, a senior that has been one of the best forwards and centers in college basketball for the past 3 years now. And then also RJ Davis, same thing. He's an elite guard going up against another elite guard. So I think it's going to be a lot of firepower. And it's also, like you guys said, it's going to come down to defensive stops for the Sooners.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Before you close it or whatever, you mentioned Hunter top 5 if they win OU, and this game really, to me, this is a no lose situation for Oklahoma. And the fact that they've done great in the non-con, this game it can only make you better. This game's not really, you lose this game by 5, 6. I mean, it's not going to hurt you in the long run. It's another tough game.
As long as you don't get blown out.
That's now, right. Here's the thing:
2030, then there's people questioning you. Well, okay, maybe these other teams that they beat aren't as good as we thought. Like,
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think that happens either.
Here's the reality of it: if OU wins tonight, which I think there's a good chance OU's going to win tonight, I really do. You mentioned a little bit of leeway in the Big 12, and hey, if OU wins tonight, OU is good enough to finish in the top 2 or 3 of the Big 12. I'm going to say it right now. If they win tonight, we don't need to be talking about barely getting over 500 for the Big 12 at that point. If you win tonight, you've shown you've beaten some really good teams. OU should go out and, hey, they compete for the Big 12 title, okay? I know that's tough. Big 12's tough, but I'm just saying, look at their non-con. If they keep winning and they beat these teams, what are you going to – they're top 5 at that point.
Yeah, Jay, for your top 3, would it be Houston, Kansas, OU at that point?
Right now, my top 3 – I do not agree with the standings with Kansas being above Houston right now in the overall rankings. I think Kansas is 2. I would have Houston above Kansas. I would go Kansas and then Oklahoma. That's my top 3 in the Big 12 right now. And I really think that's the first tier from what I've watched. I think then it drops down to Texas and Baylor and all those other teams. but I think you can't argue with what OU's done so far.
No, and regardless of what happens tonight, I think OU is in the top tier of the Big 12. I think they're in the top tier of the Big 12, regardless of what happens tonight. One thing to take note of: 7 out of OU's 10 wins have been by 20 points or more. So OU hasn't been in many close games, haven't needed to be. Chances are this could be a close one, which you put that feather in your cap if you're able to win a close one tonight. But super excited about the Jumpman Invitational, all these things we've talked about on here. A reminder, we will be on our YouTube Live after the game. So make sure you join us on that. The game tonight, 8 o'clock tip, ESPN. So make sure you tune in. Should be a great announcing crew for the Jumpman Invitational. Appreciate you guys for watching the video and being subscribed. Till next time, Boomer.
Sooner.